Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Esenam Afenu, and I'm here for business. Now, over 4 months after the amendment of the excise tax, stamp and value-added tax act on textile, the policies are yet to be implemented. Ahead of this year's May Day, the Coalition of Textile Workers is mounting pressure on government to implement these policies. And when implemented, the textile industry will be better placed to compete fairly as well as tackle smuggling, which remains one of the biggest threats to the industry.
Zero-rate VAT on the supply of locally manufactured textiles, the textile tax stamp as well as the task force are just a few of government interventions expected to bring relief to the textile manufacturing industry. But despite the amendment of the Excise Tax Stamp Act 873 and the Value Added Tax Act 870 in December 2018, the policies are yet to be implemented. However, with the clock ticking on some of the interventions, such as the 3-year zero-rated VAT, which will end in December 2021, the Coalition of Textile Workers say government must act now to save their jobs.
That everything that government talked about, the single corridor, the tax stamp, the tax force going to the market, even the stimulus package, all these things are centered around the tax stamp. If the tax stamp don't come into play, what's the single corridor going to do? Because we'll still have people bringing the fake goods in the country and there will not be any measure to check. The tax force for now can't go to the market because they don't have the basis to go. When they go, they don't know what they are going to look out for. The president says he doesn't want them to go to the market without any law backing them. So we want the tax stamp to come. When the tax stamp comes, now we don't even need tax force from the various organizations anymore because GRA will do their job, just like they are doing for the bottling companies. But if we don't have the tax stamp coming into play, then there will not be any tax force, there will not be any single corridor, and all these things won't work. The delay is too much. We want government to act now. If there is anything to help the manufacturing companies in the country, it should be now. If there is anything to boost the textile industry, it should be now. The delays, we are tired of the sweet words, we are tired of the in-house meetings, the town hall meetings. We want them to act now. Give us the uniforms and we will print them. Give us whatever you want to give us, the tax stamp, and we will work.
Meanwhile, as the policies delay, the spokesperson for the coalition says morale of workers is low due to the uncertainty on the security of their jobs.
We have lost over hundreds of workers during this period of hardship in the textile industry, and we don't know the future if government really don't intervene. We know government has plans for the textile industry, but as it is not being materialized, we still come to work and we don't know what might happen tomorrow. Whether you come and your employers will say you should go home because they can't pay salaries, and we know that some of the other companies sometimes just stay home and there is no work to be done, and when there is work they call them to come. So it's really affecting the business and there is no motivation at all.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu.
Despite the digitization of business registration at the Registrar General's Department, more Ghanaians still prefer manual to digital services. Earlier today, many business owners and individuals rushed to the premises of the Registrar General to file their annual returns as well as renew their businesses before the 30th April deadline. Although the queues had subsided by close of day, Registrar General Jemima Owari attributed the situation to tech phobia. She spoke to Ebenezer Sabote.
I repeated these messages. This time I went personal. I used the SMS to get them to be aware that the deadline was coming up and they needed to file their returns because there was a penalty of 400 Ghana cedis coming up in addition to each year that they would need to file the return. Nothing happened really. People just kept on trickling in until I sent another message just 2 weeks ago that the time is coming up. In the end of this month, I will start issuing the penalties after April 30th. That is when you had the whole host of people flooding the offices to come and file their returns. So maybe in the nature of Ghanaians, of always waiting to the last minute before we come out and comply with just simple directives, this would not have happened.
So in essence, what it means is that it's because we Ghanaians want to do things last minute, and that is why we are having this challenge over there.
It could be one of the reasons. It could also be financially, they might not have been up to it. But most importantly, I think it's our attitude. We do not take such things seriously. But at the end of the day, it's not really the money that the department is after. We are more, concerned about you updating us on the current status of your company. You can register a company, say, for the last 10 years, and there have been so many changes carrying on, such as change of directors or change of shareholders or even change of the registered place of business. Your duty through the filing of the annual returns is to update us with that information. Most people think that because they've not gotten any contract from government or any contract or any business, there is no need to file an annual return, and that is very wrong. You can file the annual return, update us on the various officers of the company, the position, whether they are still with you, and then file a nil return. You can also file a nil return to show that you've not carried on with any business, and that is what they fail to do. So you meet them, they say, I haven't done any business, so I can't. I said, no. File. It's just 50 Ghana cedis for each year.
Bank of Ghana is threatening to prosecute persons that flouted laws covering importation and exportation of foreign currencies. This was captured in a public notice issued by the central bank today. The Bank of Ghana has recently introduced a number of measures to regulate the forex market. That's more in the following report.
According to a public notice from the Bank of Ghana, failure of any person to declare foreign currency exceeding $10,000 being imported or exported would also forfeit that currency. The central bank argues that enforcement would also cover any monetary instruments, including travelers' check and bearer shares and bonds. The bank also states that transportation of currency through mails or cargo is also strictly prohibited, and such cash would be confiscated and given to the state. The Bank of Ghana is drawing its powers from the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, which spells out rules governing importation of foreign exchange. Their action is also being influenced by provisions in the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2008. Analysts see the move as part of measures to enforce the foreign exchange laws, which could indirectly help deal with the cedi's perennial depreciation in last and first quarters of each year. However, some of their concerns is how the central bank would be able to get the required support from the relevant government agencies to enforce these laws. It is believed that flouting of these laws had contributed to the recent sharp depreciation that hit the Ghana cedi.